We do that anyway.
We do it, but now some just say, all those in favor say aye or whatever, and you don't have a record of that. I watched one today, a meeting today that did that. You'll have to widen that out. I want the chairman on there instead of just me. Mr. Cofer.
We need to do that before we start the meeting.
Correct. Well, we need to do that, you know, I would do that before you start it.
Okay.
But this is electronic and we are. And Mr. Cofer will be muting everybody except unless who you call upon. So, and then except members of everybody will have, theirs won't be muted. All the board members will not be muted at all. But this room will be mic'd as well. And so there we go. All right, I'm gonna run this down there right, and I'll be right back, Mr. Chairman.
Is Travis's number 3432? And then 3432?
Yeah, and he's got a 464 number too.
That is a 464.
Yeah, 464 6128,
Have that one.
and then 684 6422.
Okay, I need to look at those.
We still need to amend to get the 5.305.
Which one do I need to text him on?
Probably text him on the 684 number. That's his mobile number. Yeah,
For
684 6422. Okay, be right back, and we'll take these James since we've signed them and get them out of my way.
Hey Douglas, you hearing audio? You're muted right now. Just you can stick your thumb up.
Can see him. He said something, but I didn't hear.
I'm not hearing you.
Must be talking to Freddie.
Sound check to Douglas Jennings. You may need to click next to your microphone and select your webcam for the microphone.
I think I got my water today. Yeah, we need to revise the agenda to take in that.
Mhm.
Hey, Travis. I did talk to Brian. Hey, can you?
Please enter your participant
See
or
me
moderator
after the
code, followed by the pound key. Please say your name, followed by the pound key.
Adam County Board of Ed.
You are the first participant in the conference.
And I gotta get Douglas's thing started here in a minute too, so remind me to get Douglas's.
Hey, Marcia, can you hear us okay?
Travis has joined.
Hey Travis, you hear me okay?
Yeah, I'm good now. Brian just texted me and I finally got on my email. I don't know what the problem was. I think it was an issue on my end with the internet, but I'm good now.
Okay, very good. You got a copy
I
of
can hear
the,
you just fine, Mr. Curtis.
well, very good. I usually don't have that problem of people not hearing me very well. Travis.
I understand that. I can see that. That's a good thing.
Okay, you got a copy of the agenda?
I do.
Okay, I think the chairman's gonna have that revised and put a policy right there between number 6 and number 7. Our number 7 will be to approve policy number 5.3051,
Okay.
which is FFCRA. That's the one I sent you an email on.
Okay, I got you now. I'm on my email now.
Okay. So we'll need a motion probably to amend the agenda to include that between numbers 6 and 7. So that'll become number 7, and then the rest will just move right down.
They're just talking.
That'll work.
Let's go on FaceTime Live.
He said he was aiming it at the,
Ceiling.
yeah.
We just get the audio is what they'll do.
Well, I see Marcia.
Tell Brian I appreciate him texting me. I got it resolved right before he texted me, so I appreciate that.
Okay, no problem. I don't see Brian on the screen yet, or he's not joined in either, so we'll have to get on to him.
Okay. He messaged me and I got it resolved right before for some reason I couldn't get into my email. It kept giving me an error and I tried one more time and it finally let me in, so we're good now. But
Okay,
I just used my house phone. That way we wouldn't have any connection issues.
there you go. Yeah, y'all's connection over there is kind of spotty. I mean, Auburn's.
AT&T is pretty good, Freddie. Now here lately, since all this has been going on, we've had a few issues. I guess I don't know if it has something to do with the virus going on. I couldn't tell you, but now we've had AT&T for over a year, and we have excellent service over here. So
Good.
I don't know what that has to do with. I couldn't tell you.
I've got Verizon. Every time I come through there, it usually blanks out between about Prosperity all the way up to the hill, going over to Milton.
Yeah.
I usually, it's spotty down through there for me.
Yeah. Well, we should be good with me. I'm on a landline, so we should be fine.
Good deal. All right, I'm waiting for Mr. Chairman. I'm still waiting for members. You just have 2 members here.
No problem.
Is that Bruce right there?
I meant to call you
That's
earlier
Mr.
today,
Pitts.
but I was in the bed, and now before I got to you,
Hey, no
my
problem.
wife had told me, Mr. Curtis has called. I said, honey, I know. I said, I'm calling him right back as soon as I can.
Okay. Oh, I understand. We'll be just got you and Javen here as of right now, so.
Marcia, could you give us the audio check?
Check 1, 2, 3.
You,
And there's Bruce. There's Bruce. So Bruce reading a magazine. I can't tell.
He's reading something.
Oh. Oh.
All right, we got 3. We're waiting on Nathan and Brian.
Nathan and Brian, yes, sir.
so is video identification waived for the current situation for board members?
I don't know about Wave, but probably yes. Yes, we're gonna go like it is. Get Conference Bridge. Voice recognition software has been enabled on Travis, so.
Yeah, that's definitely.
If he can't connect on the computer, he can just do a quick FaceTime and confirm his.
Confirm his ID. So. We might do that. We might do that to that day where we know that we got them. So who we might like in Brian?
Hey, Travis.
Brian and Nathan,
Yes, sir, Brian.
it is 6:29.
Say, internet's a no-go for you.
What's that?
Your connection's no good.
Well, no, I can hear you just fine.
No, I'm talking about with the video.
The video.
Are you not
Oh,
able?
no, I'm on landline, Brian. You want to go on a cell phone or whatever? I can do whatever you need me to. I'm on landline right now.
Travis?
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me?
You get feedback on
Yep.
We're good.
microphones going in the same.
This
room?
is Keith. Can you hear me?
Yes, Keith, we got you.
If y'all will speak up, that way the video phone people can hear you.
Give me just a second.
Okay.
When the meeting starts.
Do you want to
when
move
the
the Zoom, move that closer to us?
I can't.
Okay.
I'm already back at the office.
Okay, well, I can move your cell phone over closer maybe.
If you want to do that and don't trip over the wire, it needs to be plugged in.
Yes, sir, I understand. Let's see if we can get long enough. No, not hardly long enough. I think I can move
Okay.
the chair. Okay, how's that, Keith? Can you hear me now?
Hopefully everybody can hear you. I'm just going off of what the Facebook comments are right now. We're on Facebook Live.
Okay, well, we've not started yet. We're gonna start
Yeah.
just a little bit later.
Okay, that's fine. I'm muting myself.
Travis. Travis.
Wow, this is nice space sound.
Did he
We verified him, didn't we?
think so?
Okay, if he can come back, we can get him back. He was sounding good.
You hear me, Brian?
And there's Nathan. Yeah, I got you there, Travis.
Okay. I don't know about video. I don't have any video. I just got audio. That's all I got.
Okay,
I don't have any video.
You weren't able to click your link in your
Well-
email from your phone?
I tried that. They didn't give me anything. It just reverted back to the phone. I could probably try it on laptop, but my laptop battery, I'm not. Today's been one of those days. My laptop battery is dead, and I can't get it on. And my wife is using my other laptop for her school, and she has it in my parents. I don't have it here.
I'm not hearing Travis as well.
Hold on a minute. Let me look here.
he was sounding good a minute ago.
That link doesn't take you to the landline or the conference call, so you must have clicked the wrong link. It's that big, long link.
Let me try this one more time, right? Hold on a second.
Okay.
It's been one of them days, I know you understand. Join meeting. Now it's telling me to download an app. Okay, I can do that. Maybe that's my problem. I can do that. Download an app. Didn't ask me the first time.
Download now.
How do you have to download this?
Download an app.
Download an app.
That could be my fault. Let me try that. I'm doing it right now. Open. join a meeting, this is probably it right here, okay. Meeting ID.
Ready to go, Mr. Chairman, as soon as we get the official word from, I have text Brian, so.
I'm trying to hold y'all guys up, sorry.
We can go back to where you were on that landline. You sounded great on that landline.
Well, yeah, I'm sure I did. Yeah, it was working just fine, but I didn't see obviously, but you know.
Right.
Good.
Brian, you want to try and get him to come back on that landline to be louder?
It says meeting ID, that's meeting ID for that number I got on email.
Brian?
It may be different on the phone, but I've never seen it ask for the meeting ID, but it is, I mean, it's in the email if you need it.
Let me look here, Brian, I'm sorry. You know me, I'm more tech savvy than this. I don't know what the deal is. Let me look here. It says that the Zoom app is installed, click join meeting, and when I did that, it said it wasn't installed, so I clicked download, and I did that, and now it's asking for a meeting ID. So let me see. I'm about to figure this out. Meeting. There it is. Let's do that. Okay, I think we're making progress here. Just a second. Go back to that tab.
Let's see if this is you. iPhone 2. See who that is.
Meeting password.
iPhone 2.
Copy.
Just
Brian
check.
outside.
There's Brian.
Nathan,
Here we go. Here we go.
you need to unmute. All right.
You want to hear my voice that bad?
Yeah, yeah.
We got you, Travis.
Bruce, you good?
Perfect.
Now we can you get off the speakerphone now?
He needs to unmute. Brian, you need to unmute.
Oh, hold on.
Brian and Travis will unmute and then we'll be ready to roll.
Okay, I'm gonna unmute. I'm gonna unmute you.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yep, we're good.
Yeah, let me get you out.
All right.
There, you're off the conference bridge, Travis.
Yeah, I can see Mr. Curtis and Chairman there.
I've got you on 2 audio sources now for some reason.
Hold on a minute, Brian. Let me hang up. Travis.
Guys,
I've left.
all right, now let's check his audio on that other end and I think we'll be ready to go, Mr. Chairman.
Lost link with Travis.
I think we got you now, Travis, with 1 audio source, which is good. Not.
Well, I sure saw him.
Say something, Travis.
Nathan's right in my face
Now.
too, both of them.
Yeah, we got you now. There you go. Mr. Chairman, you go ahead. You got it.
All right, guys.
I think we're okay now, finally. I think it was connected to my truck with my Bluetooth. It was wanting to connect to my truck and I couldn't hear anything. My truck is outside, it's turned off, but it was wanting to connect to it for some reason.
All right, guys. I got something I need to read here. So the board clearly states that they are meeting under the provisions of a specific executive order number 16 and make a determination on the record that the meeting electronically is necessary to protect public health, safety, and welfare in light of the coronavirus. Also, all votes must be a roll call vote, which we normally do anyway. So, Mr. Curtis?
Mr. Chairman, thank you. To recognize our employee of the month. This month is going to be multiple employees, and that is our food service personnel. Our food service personnel have gone above and beyond and have done tremendous work in the past several weeks, the past 2 weeks in feeding. So I'd like to commend them on the record, and also food service supervisor Jennifer Insell, that our food service workers are just gone above and beyond. We have fed just this week 8,890 meals to students of Cannon County. So I am just overwhelmed with gratitude toward them. And on Monday, right before the feeding, I'm going to visit every school and pass out certificates to all food service personnel that they can display that in the cafeteria of official commendation from this board and from the director of schools. If I could get Jennifer Insell to unmute there, I'd like to have Jennifer to say a few words about her personnel. Jennifer.
Thank you, Mr. Curtis, for recognizing our staff and recognizing the great effort they have put forth in this pandemic feeding or meal distribution. We appreciate all the principals. They have been with them the whole time, and staff, Lisa Black and Miss Bonnie and Marcia, for helping us every day pass out those meals. It was a group effort, and we appreciate the all of the employees that have helped and made this possible. We could not have done it without them. Thank you, Mr. Curtis.
Thank you, Jennifer. And like I say, I'm going to be going around to all the food service personnel on Monday. Some of them get there at 5 a.m. on Monday. I'm not going to get there that early, but I'm going to get there immediately following and tell them individuals how much we appreciate them so very much. So, Mr. Chairman, that's all I have in regard to Employee of the Months.
All right, guys.
Mr. Chairman, if I could say something real quick, if you don't care.
I don't care. Go ahead.
I just can't tell you how much that I am just elated about the work that our schools are doing during this pandemic. The food service director and all the employees and everybody who stuck together. It's been such a blessing for me to see that everything that has been shared with me. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate everybody in the school system. I hope that I know we're being recorded, and I want it to all go down to the certain paths it needs to be. And I know that all of our lives are being impacted right now. I know we're all in a different state. We're not prepared. We weren't prepared for this. We weren't, none of us were prepared for this, but I think we've all stuck together and we all shine our lights, and I think we're giving back to the kids and the parents and community, and I think it's a great thing. And I cannot tell you how impressed I am with all of the members of the school system. I have been totally in awe. I don't say a lot, but when I say things, it means a lot, and it really swings a lot of weight with me. And I just cannot tell you that, Mr. Curtis, the work you've done, and everybody, I'm very appreciative, and I thank y'all for all y'all's work that y'all have done. I can't tell you how much I appreciate I am for it. It just means a lot to me and the community. That's all I got to say.
Job well done. Anybody else? All right. We need to add.
Need to call rolls from Mr. Chairman.
Well, you're going ahead and call a roll. I know everybody's here. Yeah, call a roll.
Mr. Daniel. Unmute there, Mr. Daniel.
If they can figure out how.
He's trying.
I understand. I had trouble too myself.
Let me do it for you.
Got it?
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Daniel.
Here.
Mr. Elrod. Mr. Elrod. He's muted.
Here.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Sanders.
Here.
Mr. Turney.
Here.
Chairman Fan.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you have 5 here, none absent. You have a quorum, sir.
All right. We need to approve the agenda, but we need to add, take the place of item number 7, 5.3051, the Coronavirus Response Act. Do I have a motion to do that?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion's been made. Do I have a second?
Make a second.
Second's been made. Mr. Curtis, call the roll.
Motion made by Mr. Elrod, seconded by Mr. Turney to revise the agenda of the County Board of Education meeting of April 9th, 2020 to insert at item 7, approve the creation of CCBO policy 5.3051 FFCRA leave. All subsequent agenda items drop 1 number in sequence. Mr. Daniel.
Aye.
Mr. Elrod.
Aye.
Mr. Sanders.
Aye.
Mr. Turney.
Aye.
Chairman Fan.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays.
All right. Item number 2, I'm going to read these. It's the consent agenda so everyone can hear. It's to approve the minutes of the March 12th, 2020 meeting of the board. There are no bus trips, so there's B can be stricken. Approve Holly Harwood as a non-faculty cheerleading coach. Approve Lacey Eckhart as the cheerleading coach, and approve staff development committee for 2020 and 2021. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve it. I'm glad to hear about Holly Harwood coming in.
Motion's been made. Do I have a second?
I'll make a second.
Second's been made. Call the roll.
Discussion, okay. Motion made by Mr. Elrod, seconded by Mr. Turney to approve the consent agenda. A, approve the minutes of the March 12th, 2020 meeting of the board. B, no bus trips. C, approve Holly Harwood as non-faculty cheerleading coach at Cannon County High School. D, approve Lacey Eckert as cheerleading coach at Cannon County High School. And E, approve staff development committee for 2020, 2021. Mr. Daniel.
Aye.
Mr. Elrod.
Aye.
Mr. Sanders.
Aye.
Mr. Turney.
Aye.
Chairman Fan.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays.
All right. Item number 3, approve the central office sidewalk bid. We only had 1 person to turn in a bid. So that's all we have to go on. Did everybody get a copy of the information?
Yes.
Yes, I did.
All right. Anybody got any questions or discussion?
No, it's well needed.
All right. At this moment, I'll entertain the motion.
Make a motion to approve.
The motion's been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Who was that?
Nathan and Travis said it about the same time.
Okay, we'll make Mr. Sanders then.
Sorry. Let Mr. Sanders have that.
Thanks. I'm excited.
Motion made by Mr. Elrod, seconded by Mr. Sanders to approve the bid of Mike Hutchins Construction of $11,500 for refurbishing of sidewalk in front of the Cannon County Adams office building with funds from Tennessee Risk Management Grant. Mr. Daniel.
Aye.
Mr. Elrod.
Aye.
Mr. Sanders.
Aye.
Mr. Turney.
Aye.
Chairman Fan.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman.
I'll be glad to see that.
No nays. I would like to add something, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chris Stiles of Tennessee Risk Management wanted to be at the board meeting tonight, but because of everything going on, he he said that he would try to come at another meeting. But we appreciate them, and I appreciate Ms. Bonnie working on this grant.
All right. Item number 4, approve the roofing contract with Porter Roofing. Mr. Curtis, you want to elaborate a little?
For those who were at the workshop, you have a copy of that, of the contract. This contract was, we've been hashing this thing out for about the past month, and it went back and forth between our attorney, Mr. Jennings, and also the Porter Roof's attorney, and that we have come to a consensus here, and you have the contract before you. One of the main items of contention, I guess you could say, was the contract stated arbitration, and our board attorney wanted litigation, and the company agreed to litigation in Cannon County Court should there be some disagreement of the contract at some point in the future. So you can look at that. I would say to you that we have an agreement inside the contract that if school is canceled for the rest of the year, that Porter Roofing can begin immediately. As soon as we get a declaration of that effect, it'll be done immediately. So there's been a lot of hard work in this, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I move for its adoption.
All right, guys. I'll entertain a motion at this time.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion's been made. Do I have a second?
Second the motion.
And seconded. Call a roll.
Motion made by Mr. Elrod, seconded by Mr. Sanders to approve the contract between the Cannon County Board of Education and Porter Roofing for roof projects at Cannon County High School, Woodland School, and Woodbury Grammar School. Mr. Daniel.
Aye.
Mr. Elrod.
Aye.
Mr. Sanders.
Aye.
Mr. Turney.
Aye.
Chairman Fan.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays, and we'll get on this as soon as possible.
They can start now being out of school, can't they?
Well, they can, may I answer that, Mr. Chairman? Yes, they can, as soon as we get a declaration by the governor that we're out for the rest of the year. So I need that declaration before I can let them start going. So as of right now, we could possibly be back on April the 27th. Although I have my doubts about that, but as of right now, that's what I can tell them.
I'm with you, Bruce.
Yeah.
But hey, if I get the official okie dokie, then I'll have them moving the next day, next hour.
All right. Item number 5, approve budget amendments number 4 and 5. You want to read those?
I can read those into the record, Mr. Chairman. Resolution number 4, be it resolved by the Cannon County Board of Education meeting in regular session on April 9, 2020 to approve the following amendment to the 2019-2020 general purpose school budget. This resolution will be presented to the Cannon County Commission in the regular session on May 7, 2020. What this was a contribution in gifts in line item number 44570 to increase revenue by $3,009. We received a grant from AAA that is utilized at the high school. And then so line item number 72120 499 under health services, supplies and materials is expended $3,009. And so that was resolution number 4. So we got the AAA grant. Ms. Bonnie talked about that, and Mr. Nichols talked about that at the workshop. Resolution number 5, be it resolved by the Cannon County Board of Education meeting in regular session on April 9, 2020 to approve the following amendment to the 2019-2020 general purpose school budget. This resolution will be presented to the County Commission in the regular session on May 7, 2020. Increased revenue and line item number 44570, contributions and gifts, $19,000. Increased expenditures in line item number 76100 707, capital outlay, building improvements, $19,000. We received a safety grant from Tennessee Risk Management Trust. This will do the door in the front, and it will be an electronic door, approximate value of $8,000, and then $11,500 for the sidewalk. The additional 500 or extra 500 is going to probably be used as we modify a city sidewalk to make it indented where a wheelchair can access from the street. We've been told that they would not extend a ramp into the street, so it will have to be indented, and I think that would be somewhere around the neighborhood of 500. So, Mr. Chairman, I would certainly recommend adoption of these two budget amendments.
All right, at this moment, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion's been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second's
was
been
that?
made.
Travis.
Call the roll.
Motion made by Mr. Sanders, seconded by Mr. Turney to approve budget amendments number 4 and number 5. Mr. Daniel.
Aye.
Mr. Elrod.
Aye.
Mr. Sanders.
Aye.
Mr. Turney.
Aye.
Chairman Fan.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays.
All right, item number 6. Approve policies 1.8011 and 5.1151. Mr. Curtis, do you want to elaborate on that?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, you got the, in your packets, we see the current policy, emergency closings, policy 1.8011. You see then in your packet, the revision, the proposed new effective March 23, 2020. And I retroacted that policy to go into effect March 23, 2020. So what that does, that this is our emergency closing, and you said this is where this policy has to do with emergency closing as recommended by TSBA. And so they strongly urged us to do that, and I will put that into play that these policies would come into effect on March 23, 2020. Policy number 5.1151 is a brand new policy developed by TSBA in regarding telework during emergencies. What this policy does is do the same thing we're doing now, except teachers and supervisors and administrators, whomever, can work via this mode, telework. First time I'd ever heard that term, I think. But telework is where they would be paid for, or in their job, their designated employees are allowed to perform their normal work and duties through the use of hardware and software at an alternate location from their normal work site. So these were for TSBA, and they really pushed for us to do this immediately. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right, everybody clear on that?
Yes.
And we made it on the 23rd, 2020, because the first week we were out for spring break. You would not want to retroactive that because people, that was their regular time they were going to be off anyway. But the 23rd is that week that we were scheduled to come back. And we used 3 snow days there on the front end there, other 3 that we had still in the stockpile. So we used 3 stockpile days to do that. But I retrofitted that because it came back to the 23rd, Mr. Chairman.
All right. I'll entertain a motion to approve or disapprove.
Make a motion to approve both policies.
Motion's been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
I'll second to approve those 2 policies.
Okay, is that Mr. Turney? DB?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, call it out.
Motion made by Mr. Sanders, seconded by Mr. Turney to approve Cannon County Board of Education policies 1.801 and 5.1151 effective March 23, 2020. 1.8011 is emergency closings, 5.1151 telework during emergencies. Mr. Daniel.
Aye.
Mr. Elrod.
Aye.
Mr. Sanders.
Aye.
Mr. Turney.
Aye.
Chairman Fan.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays.
All right, item number 7, 5.305 the Coronavirus Response Act. Mr. Curtis, you want to elaborate?
I can. This one, 5.3051 is the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. This act will be in effect from April 2nd until December 31. And on that policy, this one does not exist, so this is a brand new policy, where it says in line 5, employees should seek clarification from, and I am asking to insert Mrs. Shannon Bacon if they have questions regarding the total amount of leave and pay available to them. She is our payroll clerk, and I'm desiring her to be in charge of that, or human resources person be in charge of this FFCRA leave. And this is in addition to the FMLA, and this is a federal, as part of our response to the federal law. And this will be concurrent beginning April 2nd through December 31, just dealing with the Coronavirus Response Act. So I would certainly, and this was pushed out by TSBA and recommended that this be adopted at this meeting, at the April meeting. So we have tried to do so, and thank you for revising the agenda to do so. Mr. Chairman, that's all I have.
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I'm making a motion to adopt.
Motion's been made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Who was that, Travis?
It was several. Two.
Me and Nathan are on the same page.
Yeah.
Your call, Mr. Chairman.
I don't know who won, so let's go with Nathan.
Okay.
He's first on the list up here. Travis is way down over the side.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Call a roll.
Motion made by Mr. Elrod, seconded by Mr. Sanders to approve the creation of Cannon County Board of Education Policy 5.3051, FFCRA leave, as recommended by TSBA. Mr. Daniel.
Aye.
Mr. Elrod.
Aye.
Mr. Sanders.
Aye.
Mr. Turney.
Aye.
Chairman Fan.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays.
Item number 8, review policies 6.100 through 6.319. Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, this is our typical policy review. During the month of April, we review the first part of Section 6, dealing with students. And then in May, we will be doing Section 2, the remainder of this policy. This is policy 6.100 to 6.39. And what this does is say that we review this and we looked at this. Many of these policies you will see we had to make some changes with back in 19 earlier this year for the board. So I would certainly recommend that we have done this, and principals have also reviewed this during our district leadership meetings.
I'll make the motion that we reviewed it. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second's been made. Call roll.
Motion made by Mr. Fan, seconded by Mr. Elrod, that the Cannon County Board of Education review Cannon County Board of Education policies, Section 6, Student, Part 1, Policy 6.100 to 6.319. Mr. Daniel.
Aye.
Mr. Elrod.
Aye.
Mr. Sanders.
Aye.
Mr. Turney.
Aye.
Chairman Fan.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, 5 ayes, no nays.
Item number 9, the safety report. That's done at the workshop only due to security concerns. I'd like to thank Ms. Patterson for cooperating with that. Item number 10, director's comments. Mr. Curtis, this does say 2 minutes. There you go. Put it on.
I was told to do this because I would probably talk less. So there you go. I'm safety conscious here. Thank you for permission to remove. It's taking up the glasses. Okay, but we did have a conference today. We had a district leadership meeting on Zoom, and we did that.
No.
We also did today. We had we listened in to the State Board of Education, made They made multiple policy revisions. And next week, I've got two webinars, one with Tennessee Organization of School Superintendents on Tuesday, the other one with TSBA and board members. You're welcome to, I'll send you out the info if you want to listen in on that one. And not what they do is their response to what the state board did today. The governor did have a press conference, well, at his daily briefings with the Commissioner of Ed today, but he did not say anything about extending the closing of schools. So I think that's on the horizon, depending upon multiple variables, including the curve and seeing when the peak is and all of that. So as of right now, we are closed to April the 24th. Ms. Bonnie Patterson is on. Ms. Bonnie, would you talk about the email that you sent out to principals today about resources for community members?
Yes, I've had multiple members of the community reach out for help as this pandemic continues. A lot of people are out of jobs. So there's a lot of insecurity financially and with mental health supports. So we gathered a resource sheet that Keith Reddy is working on for the Drug Coalition. I took that sheet of what resources that has been compiled, and I sent it to all principals and supervisors and district leadership staff. So if any questions come in to their offices, we'll be able to give individuals some contact information and numbers on where to find help. So as this continues, we're just trying to help everyone in the community, not just our school family, but everyone in our community.
Good deal.
Thank you, Ms. Patterson.
Anybody else? Mr. Curtis, you finished?
Mr. Chairman, I am finished. One other item I would like to say is my commendation to all of our personnel who are working from home during sometimes in trying circumstances. We are asking them to work 2 to 3 hours per day on school-related items from home. Principals have discretion to bring personnel in at their discretion. Some are bringing them in certainly for the handout of food and instruction. We are doing multiple ways of instruction, and meaning multiple ways, meaning online, and then packets to those that can't. We've been even some delivering instruction to parents. And so my commendation to all of our principals. They are working extra hard to get instruction to our students. And that will continue to look differently as this thing evolves. And should we have a complete closure of the school year, Mr. Nichols is also looking at a postponement of graduation. Mr. Nichols, would you like to talk on that briefly about our plans right now of postponement of the activities that we normally do in May? Mr. Nichols, so if you could.
Yes. Give me just, okay. Obviously, there's still a lot of unknowns at this point. And so, and the same thing goes with senior trip, same thing goes with prom. There's a lot of unknowns when we're going to return back to school. Ideally, we'd stay on course, but I have a feeling that we're probably going to be delayed on graduation. So with that being said, what if we have to delay it into June, then we will have, we'll look at having senior trip and then the next week having prom and then graduation all within a 2-week span is one of the things that I'm looking at. If that is not feasible, if this social distancing is still existent at that point, then we're going to have to look at alternate avenues, such as I really don't want to go down the road of virtual graduation. We've looked at some just different, how can we host this thing and still keep our social distancing, but yet have these kids still on track. So we're still working on some of these things, but if any questions are asked out in the community, yes, we are still going to have a graduation ceremony. These kids deserve that. And the same thing, if at all possible, I'm going to try to have a senior trip and prom for them also.
I hope it happens.
So, Mr. Chairman, we are, and board members, we are not using the word cancellation, just postponement is the word that we're wanting the community to know that this is being postponed. At the earliest opportunity, then we'll announce it and get that recognition to our 2020 graduates.
Mr. Nichols, I appreciate your diligence and your work at the high school and what you're doing there. And I know we can work through this together and get through this. I hope we can. But I appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's it, Mr. Chairman.
Number 11, the chairman's comments. I would like to thank everyone for going above and beyond and sacrificing in this extremely trying times, especially to our food service department and our educational packets that went out on a dime. At least we're trying to get something together and get something done. That was all done on spur of the moment, and I think everyone's done an exceptional job. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's all I have.
Board workshops.
Oh yeah, I do need to comment on that. We need to work on our budget some more. I guess we can do it by teleconferencing again. Nathan's shaking his head. It's got to be done, guys.
Oh, man.
Get started on it. So you guys need to look at some dates. We had one workshop and then all this hit.
Hey, don't worry. I got my mask right here.
You'll probably have to wear it.
I got an N95 mask right here.
Me too.
Yeah, that's good. Those are good to have. They're hard to find right now.
I can get Mr. Curtis to contact everyone and try to work out a date where we can get that worked out. I'd like for Douglas to chip in on that as much as he can. Is that all right with y'all, or do you want to try to set one now?
I think we can wait for some input if you want to. It'll be fine with me. Get with Douglas or whatever. It'll be okay.
Okay. Y'all keep that in mind, though. That's got to be a priority. We've got to get a couple meetings in pretty fast.
I'm good with it.
Okay.
So you mean to look at dates, Mr. Chairman, next week and the week after?
Yeah. See if we can get everybody worked out on a time where we can meet.
Okay, so gentlemen, expect an email from me with possible dates. And I'll just throw some dates out there and then see if who can make it.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Sounds
and
good to
Mr.
me.
Curtis, if you don't mind, just shoot me an email or a text reminder too. Wouldn't hurt to do that because sometimes my
Okay,
schedule.
I will try to do that tomorrow.
And I know that's kind of crazy, but I mean, me sleeping during the day, sometimes I need a reminder of that too.
I will do so. Be glad to do so.
Yeah, that helps for me. I try to go over on my paperwork beforehand, but we know how life has been lately. It's been kind of crazy.
All right. That's all I have. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make
a motion to adjourn.
Motion's been made.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Hey, this went really well. First time doing this. I think it went really well. Thanks to everybody for had a full quorum and all of our staff.
Thank you.
Showed up. Thank you.
Thank you, David. I appreciate you, man. I hope it'll be easier for me to get on next time. I got the app on my phone now, so it'll be pretty easy next time.
I think it's through May okay, we can do this through May the 18th, according to Executive Order 16. So we can do it next month if we had to, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
We'll keep that in mind. See how.
Well, I've got the app on my phone now, so it should be pretty easy for me to get on now. I didn't have it to start with. I got it now. So it's all right on my end.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Y'all be safe.
Thank you.
Happy Easter. Happy Easter. Good Friday.
Thank you, guys.
You too. Y'all be safe.
All right, bye.